Time for you to give us your fight picks, your three top fights of the week. Who do you like? What's the first one?
All right, first up, I'm going to go with the Friday night fights on ESPN. We got Amir Mansour against Joey Dueco. This is going to be a good fight because you have some bad blood. You have a lot of local fans. You have the Philly fighter and the Delaware fighter. Each guy has a lot of pros. They have a lot of cons, and it's going to be really exciting. Amir Mansour. He's 42 years old, but you know what? He's a young 42 years old. He starts fast. He comes forward, decent chin, big-time power. He sets the pace. He has the better opposition by far. Once he hurts you, he's relentless. The bad thing about Mansour, he throws wild punches. He misses a lot. We all know when you throw a big punch and you miss, that tires you out more than you connect. His defense is a little lax, but the fact of the matter is Dueco doesn't hit very hard. He only has about a 36% KO ratio. The thing about Dueco is his speed is a little deceiving. He has a sneaky overhand right, and he catches guys in close with a surprising hook in times. He has heart. He comes to fight, decent head movement, but he's never been past 8 rounds. His defense, to be honest, is kind of suspect because he has this almost silly-looking type shoulder roll. It made Charles Martin's fight night looked real easy. He's the only guy to ever stop Dueco. While I stated before, his speed is surprising but not blindingly fast. He walks backwards. He keeps that left very low. He can't fight at a quick pace. In my opinion, he's just a blown-up super middleweight at best. If Amir Mansour comes forward like he usually does, this should be an easy night for him because Mansour, once he has you hurt, he just doesn't throw that one punch. As soon as he sees that you're hurt, the punches come in 2s and 3s. I've seen Mansour knock guys out as they're going down, hit them 2 more times when they're already done standing on their feet. This is going to be an easy one for me. I think Mansour is going to knock out Dueco clean, not TKO, clean, unless the ref should step in mercifully first.
I'm not a huge fan of Mansour, but I agree with you 100%. I'm picking Mansour myself. Joey Dueco, I don't know how he's got such a respectable computer ranking, and I think you hit it on the head. He's a blown-up super middleweight. He's not a big guy. I agree. This fight won't make it to the final bell. It may not even get out of 4 rounds. I'm with you with the Mansour Dueco fight. I'm clearly going with Mansour myself. What's your second fight of the week?
And so, we're going to go across seas this week. We're going to go with the Felix Sturm-Fedor Shooting-Off fight. This is a very exciting fight, for the WBA super middleweight title. Felix Sturm has the edge and experience, no question. He's faced some of the best fighters over his career in the middleweight and in the middleweight division. Sturm is going to be fighting in Germany, where he has a huge advantage. He's gotten a lot of questionable decisions over the years. We know that. As a matter of fact, it's made up plenty for the one that Oscar De La Hoya got over him. Some of the cons with Felix Sturm as of late is he looks like he's getting old. This is going to be his first genuine fight as a super middleweight, even though his last fight against Stiglitz was a 166 pound catchweight bout. It tells me Sturm is having issues making 160, but physically, in terms of mass, he's not a full-blown super middleweight. Daniel Geale a while back and Sam Solomon, who was past his prime, they beat Sturm pretty easily. And the fact that, they beat Sturm so easily in Germany, where Sturm gets those gift decisions, and the judges found no way to give it to Sturm, speaks a lot. We got a guy right here in Shooting-Off. He's exactly what we see in the sport that's making everybody so excited with these Russians. They're coming over. Shooting-Off is just like a Kovalev. He is just like, even though he's from Kazakhstan, he is just like a Triple G. He is just, everything that makes us excited about these guys. He only has 12 fights. He stopped 10 out of his 12, but they have a combined 132 and 32 record. His last 2 opponents were undefeated. He's also well-traveled for a guy with only 12 fights, Bill. He's been to the United States 3 times and the Dominican Republic. He's no stranger to fighting on foreign soil. He's no stranger to being the guy who's rooted against. Shooting-Off with the future star potential has so much here on the line, more than a world title. He has a whole career as a young man. He's going to be way too much for Sturm, who at this point in his career is just hanging on longer than he should. My official pick is Shooting-Off. Whether or not Sturm drives him into the late rounds, I don't know, but it's not going to be Sturm's night on the card or any other way.
I'm getting scared. You're scaring me because I'm with you. I think Shooting-Off is going to win. I'm not a big Felix Sturm fan. Never was. I know he's had success. I know he's a multi-time world champion. But I think you hit it on the head again, Dax. I think that by him moving up in weight, I think it's a clear indication of him aging and the fact that he's having trouble making weight. But I agree that he's really a middleweight, that he's moving up in weight just because his body can't, that he can't get his body down to the 160. And I think that Chudinov is a legit 168-pounder. And I think Sturm is going to come up short despite it being in Germany. So I'm with you on those two. What's number 3?
Especially at 36 years old, Bill, just to throw that in. When
but it's an old
36 years old at the twilight of your career.
It seems old.
That shows right there you're having some serious problems.
But you know what? It seems like he's an old 36. You know what I'm saying? Because today, 36, I mean, we don't look at it as being old as much as it was 10, 20 years ago, especially in boxing. But, he seems old. And I think you're right. He slowed down. His last couple of fights, he looked, less than ordinary, So I think this is a showcase fight for Chudinov. I really do.
All right, and the big fight of the week, the one we've been, everybody's been looking forward to and talking about because, one way or another, it's going to be exciting. Saul Canelo Alvarez, against James Kirkland. Alvarez, we got a kid here who is basically still a kid. He's only 24 years old. Him and Kirkland are very similar in size, and they have similar reach. And in fact, I think maybe Kirkland has a slight advantage in the reach department, but that's about it. The pro experience goes to Kirkland, but you know what? The pro experience goes to Canelo. But, not only does it go to Canelo, but the level of competition that Canelo has fought. He is a kid with very limited amateur background, but as a pro, he has fought the best of the best in the division. Cintron, Mosley, Trout, Laura, Angulo, Tyner. Mayweather is the only guy to beat him. He might have got, a couple, gifts, especially in the Lara fight. But you know what? The good thing about Canelo is this is a young man who knows his limitations. He knows exactly what he has to do, and he knows what he needs to do. He learns on the job. He's composed in the ring. It takes a lot to rattle him. He has a very good chin. And you know what? He'll sit there and he'll wait for the right time to attack. And a few times in the Floyd Mayweather fight, it looked like he might have been hurt. But you know what? I really don't think he was. He was more surprised at the punches that Floyd was giving him and the fact that he was connecting than he was hurt. Kind of like screaming when the bee stings you. Not that the pain was so bad, but it's not like you cut your finger off. But you got caught out there with the bee sting and you weren't expecting it. He's going to expect James Kirkland's big punches. Canelo is a solidly built 154-pound fighter. He's actually, ready to go to the middleweight division at any point in time. Canelo has also changed his training habits as of late. He's added some explosive power workouts, not weightlifting, but, he's done a lot of core stuff, a lot of one-arm push-ups where he changes the reps back and forth. I think he's going to be very, very prepared for anything that Kirkland brings. His only downfall is he starts a little bit slow. And if he does start slow, he's going to have to change gears quickly. He's going to have to know that James Kirkland is going to come in there to take his head off. The only question is, can Canelo weather the storm early? Now, Kirkland, on the other hand, we all know he comes in strong. He's relentless. Power is his biggest asset. He's a great finisher. He knows how to impose his will. Cons about James Kirkland is he lacks focus, not only in the ring, but in his personal life. He always has one foot in the gym, one in the streets. 2011, he fought 6 times, suffered his only loss by a light punch in Ishida, dropped 3 times. He seemed confused on how to handle it, Bill. He was looking in the corner for somebody that wasn't even there. Also, how's his mindset considering his inactivity? He's going to be in physical shape, but Ann Wolf, despite, the relationship and whatever happened between the two of them that we don't know, put it right on the head perfectly. His team is going to prepare him physically. He's going to be in shape physically, but mentally, is he going to be prepared? This new team, are they rah-rah men, Bill? Are they just telling James, you got this, don't worry about it, you're going to knock this kid out? They're going to point out flaws that Canelo has. Well, more often than not, when the team does that, we've seen it many times, the fighter already lost before they got into the ring because their head is so built up, they're not prepared for what's coming back. And you know something? Canelo is going to bring it back. This is a tough call because of Kirkland's power. We really don't know how well this team has it mentally prepared, as I stated. Unless he gets Canelo early, I don't think he's going to be able to get rid of Canelo Lee. I'm not really sure how Canelo's going to handle the onslaught, as I said, but I don't see James Kirkland winning. My official pick is going to be Canelo, and I think Canelo's going to stop him somewhere between the 8th and 10th rounds.
Interesting. The thing about this fight, and by the way, officially, I'm picking Canelo Alvarez myself. I would like to see a stoppage, but the reason why I'm picking it, Kirkland is the bigger fighter. Canelo Alvarez obviously is moving to middleweight. His fight is at middleweight. He's a young kid. We all knew that he was going to be a middleweight. Kirkland does get hit a lot, but I think for the same reasons you're picking Alvarez, not only for his own abilities, but I'm with you. I think Ann Wolfe is a huge void in James Kirkland's corner. I think that we've seen it with Kirkland. When Ann Wolfe is with him, he's a different fighter, and I'm not sure if this new team is a bunch of rah-rah men, but it seems like that could be the case. A lot of times fighters get to a point where they're looking for trainers to say what they want to say, and they don't want to hear what they don't want to hear, and sometimes what they don't want to hear is the truth, So I'm with you. I'm picking Canelo Alvarez. So good job as usual. Dax, I wanted to go ahead.
Just to, highlight on that one point that you're saying, Bill. The thing again. Yes, we don't know exactly what Kirkland's team is saying, or if they are rah-rah men. We don't know. But the one thing about Canelo is this is a young kid right here who has a plan. Kirkland doesn't have a plan, and I mean for his overall future. Canelo is positive that he is going to go out of the sport as a legend. He's going to go out of the sport as being known for a guy who has fought the best. Right now, James Kirkland, when you hear him talk, he seems very undecided on what he's going to do. Canelo, he can afford the loss because you know something? If Canelo loses, that's not the end of his career. He's still going to have the fan following. James Kirkland knows that, you know what, if he loses to Canelo, he's going way down the ladder. He's got to start all over again. And somebody who has the focus and concentration problems that James Kirkland has, a guy like James Kirkland who was hit by a light-hitting, last-minute opponent, it really sits there and says to him, that might weigh on his mind more than anything Canelo's going to do. So that really right there, it kind of tips the favor in Canelo just due to the mental game. And as James Kirkland may be bigger, like you stated, but when I say Canelo, he's all around, he's small, he's compact, and them small compact fighters, they bring, they're a lot harder to move around that ring. You're not going to be able to bully them small compact guys.
Well, James Kirkland, when you look at Kirkland, what did he do to earn this big fight, to be honest with you? What was his last fight? He had some problems, with activity and some legal problems and all that stuff. So you're right. This is a great opportunity for Kirkland, but I think he's already kind of labeled himself as that B side, the opponent. I hate to say it, and I was a huge fan of Kirkland. I look at James Kirkland a lot the way I do Curtis Stevens. I think that they're similar, But anyway, great job on that, Dax, as usual. Listen, I want.